Hey guys, it's Jack Punkington here, and like I said I would do it, I'm gonna do it. This is my review of my Agile, I'll call it Agile, gold top Les Paul off-brand Gibson guitar. Now normally when I do my reviews I stopped doing them on my laptop camera, and that's because the microphone that comes through isn't the best for recording lick audio, riff audio, and stuff like that. And it gives it a weird wah effect, and it'll kind of like put it in the background. Well, and I'm always usually using my half stack. Well, just recently a friend of mine gave me this really nice Squire Sidekick just little amp, and after doing a couple audio checks, it actually does better to record my review videos, and the reason why is because it's closer. Instead of moving my whole half stack or moving myself closer to the half stack, I can just bring this here. Yeah, it makes weird noises. It's a weird amp. Bring this here and use this. Now, this guitar is a very, very, very nice guitar. For an off-brand guitar, it beats any Epiphone Les Paul I've ever played in my life. And I'm not gonna say it beats my Gibson, but it's close. It's very close. It's a set neck, very nice, rounded thin C shape. Grover tuners, which are phenomenal. The gear ratio is perfect, in my opinion. Tune-o-matic bridge, stop bar tailpiece, normal Les Paul control. Very hot bridge pickup, and I find this interesting because it's the first time I've ever seen this. Now, most anyone who's a guitar player and who knows humbuckers will be like, that's a weird humbucker. It's a P90, which is like halfway in between a humbucker and a single coil, where it's thicker than a single coil but still gives off that weird feedback as a single coil. And it's the first single coil, it's the first P90 with a cap on it, which is really interesting, and I really like. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but this is a metal flake finish. I'll kind of see if I can kind of show it off a little. You can kind of see it in there. It's really nice. This guitar plays like butter. It's unbelievable. I got a really good deal. Like I said, I got this off Craigslist. I traded my Dean, and the reason why, it's not because I didn't like my Dean. It was a great guitar. I had no personal issues with the guitar. It was the things that were attached to the guitar. When you get a guitar as a gift and people give it to you, they leave an imprint on you. And my ex gave that to me for Christmas. And after she had left me and found out she cheated on me, and now I was pregnant, luckily with not my child, with the person who she cheated on me with child, which is just interesting to think about. I thought it'd be easier to move on and like get that part of my life just out if I got rid of the one thing that reminded me of her, the guitar. Like I said, nothing wrong with the guitar. It was a great guitar, and also the other part was I didn't use it that much. It just kind of sat in the corner, and it just stayed there, and it just looked cool. It was a great guitar. It looked good, and to the person I traded to, I really hope he gets the enjoyment out of it. This was a great deal for both ends. I paid that guitar and $40 basically just for gas for the guy to come meet me, and I'm so happy with it. It came with a Gibson gig bag, and the guitar that I gave him didn't have a Gibson gig bag or a gig bag in it at all. I'll start off with some clean tones, and I'll start off on the neck pickup, like I said, which is this really interesting P90. tone all the way on. If you go halfway, it gives a really, and it sounds thick, but it still has that snappiness, which is really nice. Now if I take the tone off a little, about halfway, that snappiness is kind of gone. It's still there a little bit, but it's really nice and thick, and it's just really nice and sound. It's got that perfect Les Paul sound. Middle position. Bridge pickup. Tone back, or dial back the tone, and you still get that. You can get that nice thick, but it's still got that snappiness. Now you add some gain to this. All around great sound, whether that's distortion on or off. Thing plays like butter. It's heavy too. Like most Les Pauls are supposed to be very heavy guitars, and this is very heavy. It's I'm gonna say the woods. There's a good chance it is actually straight mahogany with a maple neck, rosewood fretboard, maple top, and it's solid. It's not chambered at all. This thing probably weighs a good 8 pounds, which is pretty good. You know, most Les Pauls are very thick, very heavy guitars. Painted back, it's a nice dark red. It looks black on camera, but it's red. You can kind of see it in the light. You can see the wood grain a little. Binding around the neck and side of the guitar, which I think just makes it a really nice piece. And like I said, all around good guitar. I love it to pieces, and it was such a great deal. Now the one big thing that you gotta look for is price. How much does it cost? Is it worth the money? It is definitely worth the money. Like I said, I bought this used, and I traded a guitar for it. but I have looked online at the online prices for these guitars, and they're under $500. Good Epiphones start at six or seven. Okay, and Gibsons, the cheapest Gibson you're gonna get is like, I think 1,000 now. So why spend 1,000 on a nice Gibson or 700 or 800 on a nice Epiphone when you can spend 3 or 4? I think 5 was the highest priced one I saw. And this is, I think this one was like a $300 model or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. 300 or 400. And that's new. Has, my opinion, the best brand tuners that are out there. A very nice set neck. Pretty much not saying quality woods, but the electronics are pretty darn good. And the wood is heavy and it's just thick. For a fraction of the price, I'd say if you're a beginner and you don't have that kind of money to spend on guitars, or if you just want something to fiddle around with and you want a nice finish compared to my Gibson that I do have, which is just a worn mahogany finish. I like having fancy flashy guitars every once in a while, and I love the fancy flashiness of sunbursts. That's why my Strat's a sunburst, and I love gold tops. And this is a cheap, affordable gold top. It's not crap. This is a good guitar. I highly recommend them. Please check them out. You'd love every piece of it. This is Jack Punkington signing out. I love your faces. Bye-bye.